Chosen, pay attention. This message did not reach you by chance. There is something going on in the spirit world that is directly touching your life right now. You've been feeling it for days, a restlessness, an invisible pressure, as if something is about to explode from within. And do you know what that is? It's the sky moving, and you're at the center of that movement. Maybe you're tired of waiting, praying, and not seeing anything change. Maybe you've even begun to doubt whether God still remembers you. But today, this doubt will be silenced. Because this is not just another beautiful word, it is a direct summons from on high. God is redefining your history right now. Nothing will remain the same as before. This message is for you who were broken in silence, but kept believing. Who walked in the dark trusting that the light would come. Now, the time has come. God is releasing old promises, closing heavy cycles, and positioning you where you've always belonged, at the center of His will. Get ready. What comes will not be small. Stay with me until the end of this video, because with each word, something is being activated within you. You will feel your spirit wake up, your mind clear, and the weight leave your heart. This is the time to align with the sky. Comment 99 right now in the comments and confirm that you are ready to live this turnaround. Chosen one, this message is not just a message, it is an urgent call from heaven to you. God is spiritually summoning you to a new time, and He is not waiting for perfection, He is looking for willingness. What you are feeling right now is not ordinary anxiety, it is your spirit reacting to the sound of purpose. There is something inside you that has always known, I am not like the others, I have been set apart for something greater. While many are distracted, you have been awakened. And it was not for nothing. Every struggle, every silence, every no you heard was a quiet preparation for this moment. God is lighting a warning within your heart, and those who have spiritual ears will understand, the time of harvest is coming. But only those who listened, obeyed and remained reap. This call demands a response. It is no longer possible to postpone what heaven has already decreed. You were marked from the womb to carry light where there was only darkness. And now, the time for activation has come. No matter where you are or what you are facing, this word is to get you out of paralysis and put you in spiritual motion. The question is, will you answer the call? If you are here now, reading these words, understand, it was no coincidence. God does not work with chance, He writes destinies. Something bigger brought you here, and as much as you don't even understand everything, heaven had been preparing you for this meeting for a long time. Even the delays, the silences, and the deviations were part of His plan. Remember that door you wanted so much to see open? That person who left your life without explanation. All of this was the invisible move of God protecting you and redirecting you. There are paths that seem good to human eyes, but lead to perdition. And God, in His love, led you astray to preserve you. You just didn't know that yet. You have been guided here with purpose. This message is a confirmation, a spiritual password saying, yes, it is up to you. No longer doubt God's leading. Even His pain was part of the divine guidance. When everything seemed confusing, heaven was organizing everything behind the scenes. Now the time has come to understand that your life has never been out of His control. God doesn't just want to change your life on the outside, He's reprogramming you on the inside. What once limited you is being undone. Old patterns, wrong beliefs, fears, and traumas that have kept you from growing are being replaced by a new spiritual awareness. What is happening now is a divine upgrade in your soul. This transformation does not happen overnight, but it has already begun. You are being led into a new mindset, a new frequency, where heaven guides you and spirit strengthens you. It's not just about thinking positive, it's about living in alignment with what God is releasing into your life. Old thoughts do not sustain new promises. Spiritual reprogramming hurts sometimes, because it requires giving up what was comfortable, but shallow. God is repositioning you, aligning you, renewing you completely. You will realize that you no longer think as before, you no longer react as before, you no longer walk by sight, but by revelation. Because now, your spirit is being trained to live the supernatural. You know those people who started to move away for no reason. The plans that seemed right and suddenly got stuck. That inner confusion that you can't explain. This is not bad luck, it is not punishment, they are clear signs of an ongoing spiritual awakening. God is clearing the ground of your life for something new to flourish. And every cleanse begins with separation. When heaven decides to elevate someone, he first removes what no longer serves. It hurts, because you cling to what you know. But he's preparing you for places where certain companions and old habits can no longer enter. The comfort zone is being shaken because you have been called for more. And the more requires clean space and a ready soul. These signals are not random. They are proof that you are in the process of spiritual elevation. And those who go through this process know, confusion comes, silence comes, pressure comes, but then clarity comes, purpose comes, and peace comes. What is squeezing you now is only the narrow door before the new time opens before you. You were not born by chance. There is something within you that the world has not yet fully seen, but heaven has already recognized. This discomfort you feel is not failure, it is a spiritual push. It is purpose knocking on the door of your consciousness and saying, "Wake up, it's time to get up." You were made to live with direction, not on automatic. The stagnation that surrounded you is breaking down. The time of uncertainty is being replaced by prophetic clarity. God is activating gifts that have been dormant, rekindling passions that you tried to ignore. It's all part of a larger call. You were set apart to touch lives, to influence with light, to lead with compassion and truth. Now, what once paralyzed you will start to lose strength. Fear will give way to courage. Doubt will be replaced by faith. And you will realize that you are living not just for the sake of living, but with a purpose that transcends time and circumstances. That is the awakening. Not of a dream, but of his eternal identity in God. The time has come to act. You can no longer just pray and hope that everything will change without your participation. The faith that transforms is the one that walks, even without seeing the ground. God is calling you to a higher level of obedience, where courage and renunciation go hand in hand. It is time to abandon fear and enter the territory of promises with firm feet. You won't feel ready. It will never feel like the perfect time. But that's precisely where God works. When logic fails, faith takes over. Spiritual courage is not the absence of fear, it is a firm decision to move forward even though we are trembling. The sky moves when you take the step. Because the action that springs from faith releases the supernatural of God over your life. It is not enough to believe with the mind, it is necessary to align with the Spirit. To say yes to God means to say no to many things. It will require cuts, positioning and delivery. But what comes after is worth every renunciation. Because obedience always precedes manifestation. Those who obey experience miracles. And you're about to live yours. What no one saw, God saw. The nights when you cried in silence, the days when you smiled on the outside and bled on the inside, all of these were part of a preparation that the sky followed closely. No tears were wasted. No struggle was in vain. You were being shaped on the inside while you seemed forgotten on the outside. While others received applause, you were polished in anonymity. As doors opened for many, theirs seemed sealed. But it was in the hidden that God was strengthening you. Joseph's den, David's field, Hannah's silence, all these scenarios were preparation rooms before the demonstration. And with you it is no different. Quiet preparation generates deep roots. God was teaching you to trust without seeing, to believe without feeling, to love without reward. Because those who are trained in the desert are ready to win anywhere. Now, the process comes to an end. And everything that seemed to be backwardness will be recognized as a purpose. The stage is set. And so do you. The time has come for you to stand up with the authority that heaven has given you. Not as one begging for crumbs, but as a legitimate son, heir to eternal promises. The time for walking shrunk is over. God is calling you to take the place that has always been yours, not by force, but by spirit. It's time to stop asking permission to be who God has already called you to be. You have gone through battles that others can't even imagine. And these struggles didn't break you, they consecrated you. The fire that was supposed to destroy you, refined you. Now, the spiritual authority you carry is a direct result of what you have endured in silence. God trusted you when no one else saw value. And now He's saying, go. I give you authority. Speak boldly. Pray with conviction. Walk steadily. It is not about arrogance, but about alignment with the sky. Spiritual authority is not a shout, it is presence. And you carry that presence. Wherever you enter, something changes. Where you speak, chains break. Because the Spirit that dwells in you has already overcome the world. There is a prophetic sign that carries a special spiritual weight, the number 99. It's not just any number, it's a code of faith, a point of activation. When you declare that number, you're saying to heaven, I'm ready. I accept. I enter into a covenant. It is like an invisible seal that closes old cycles and opens paths to God's new. This code represents the end of an intense process, and the beginning of an accelerated time. Whoever understood the call, who went through the fire and remained faithful, now enters harvest time. By writing 99, whether in a commentary, a prayer, or even in silence in the heart, you are accessing this spiritual frequency of transition and release. It is not a question of superstition, but of spiritual sensitivity. The sky uses symbols to mark moments, and this is one of them. Write 99 as an act of faith, as if nailing it in the spiritual world. My story does not end in the desert. I entered into the promise. Because when the Spirit obeys, the heavens respond. And the heavens are already responding to you. That old version of you, limited, insecure, wounded, is no more. It died in the deserts you crossed, in the nights you cried silently, in the losses you survived. But now, something new is being born. It's not just an improvement, it's a resurrection. The Spirit within you is being reactivated completely. This inner resurrection does not cry out, it flourishes. From the inside out, God is rebuilding you with a heavenly identity. The strength you have today did not come from ease, but from the pain that taught you to depend only on Him. Now, you no longer walk by what you feel, but by what you believe. And that changes everything. The old you no longer fit in the new time. Be prepared to see your posture change, your decisions change, and even your voice rise up with more authority. This is the time to live as one who has been resurrected by the very breath of God. Because what sustained you before was survival. But what moves you now is purpose. And those who are resurrected from the inside become unstoppable on the outside. Stop hiding. You were not created to live in the shadows, trying to please everyone while turning off your own light. There is something in you that the sky has lit up, and that glow didn't come out of vanity, it came out of purpose. When God formed you, He breathed light into you. It wasn't to compete with anyone, it was to light paths. How many times have you shrunk to fit into small places? How many times have you hidden your gifts for fear of rejection? But the time has come to stop that. God is calling you to take a stand, not with pride, but with conviction. Its light is strategic. She was put there to fulfill a plan that only you can carry out. Do not quench what God has ignited because of the opinion of others. The world needs the glow that comes out of its truth. When you align yourself with what heaven has said about you, even darkness bows. Raise your head. He walks as if carrying a beacon inside his chest. Because yes, you were made to shine. Everything that seemed like a mess, in fact, was part of divine engineering. The chaos that surrounded you was not a sign of abandonment, it was a tool of alignment. God allowed some structures to crumble so that you could be rebuilt on a firm footing. He doesn't want you to just survive. He wants you to flourish on the right ground. Sometimes, it is necessary for everything to fall apart so that the new can be born. Broken relationships, closed doors, abruptly closed cycles, all of this has brought you here. In the midst of the confusion, God was hiding answers. And today you begin to understand, chaos has healed you, strengthened you, and made you sensitive to God's voice like never before. Nothing was in vain. Not even what you thought was an irreparable mistake. Heaven used each piece of pain to form something greater. Because His testimony is being written with ink of overcoming. And those who went through the chaos with faith will now walk with authority. You survived the storm, now you're ready to rule over it. Look at Jose, betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a grave, sold into slavery and forgotten in prison. But it was precisely this path of pain that prepared him to rule Egypt. Nothing was a coincidence. God used each fall as a stepping stone. The humiliation was the rehearsal for exaltation. And with you, He's doing the same. Think of Ruth, widow, foreigner, with no prospects. But faithful. Even in the midst of the loss, she chose to stay. And that decision changed his story. She was placed in the lineage of Jesus, an honor reserved for those who endure the process with faith. His silent fidelity was answer enough for heaven to move. And Elijah? A prophet of fire, but who also had his days of fear and weariness. He even wished for death. But God found him in the cave, restored his strength, and sent him again on a new mission. This proves that even the strongest chosen ones have their moments. But he who is sustained by God always rises. Just like you're going to get up. The moment that heaven marked on the eternal clock has come, the hour of promise. That which seemed distant, impossible, even forgotten, is being released now. God has not forgotten any word He has made to you. He doesn't lie, He doesn't fail, and He doesn't delay. If He promised, He will deliver. And you're about to see it with your own eyes. For a long time, you lived between the promise and the fulfillment. He walked through deserts, faced giants, endured delays, all without losing faith. That was proof. And now, the season has changed. The earth is prepared, the heaven is open, and the harvest has come. Don't look back anymore, don't doubt what's in front of you. Heaven is telling you today, arise, the time has come. It is no longer time to wait, it is time to move forward. Position yourself as someone who has already received it. Worship like someone who already has it in your hands. The promise is His, not by merit, but by grace. And when heaven decides to comply, neither earth nor hell can prevent it. Do you know that mental confusion that prevented you from seeing clearly? That feeling of going around in circles, without direction. This is ending now. The spiritual fog that has enveloped you is being dispelled by the light of God. What was once fog now becomes vision. What was doubt turns into conviction. For a long time, you have had the feeling of being lost, even praying, even believing. But it was the process. God was protecting you from deception, removing distractions, and teaching you to trust even if you don't understand. Now, He gives you discernment. Your spiritual eyes are being opened to see like never before. What was hidden is coming to light. Masks are falling, true doors are revealing. You'll know exactly where to step, who to walk with, and what to say. Because when God clears the vision, the path aligns with the destination. Get ready, decisions that once paralyzed you will now be made with peace and authority. The time of just waiting is over. Now is the time to manifest what has already been decreed in heaven. What you carry in the Spirit needs to come out, to become action, witness, impact. You are no longer the one who only dreams. You are the one who will accomplish. The time has come to materialize the promises that have been incubated in you for so long. God is saying, take possession. Do not just believe, but walk as one who has already received. Mature faith no longer asks for a sign, it obeys and moves. There are blessings waiting for your courage. There are doors that only open when you take a stand. And there are miracles that only happen after the first step. This time is spiritual, but it is also practical. Align your mind, your words, and your attitudes with what you have seen in prayer. Don't expect perfection, just take the step. The sky has already cleared, now it's up to you. Because those who have been prepared can no longer hide. And he who carries promises, manifests glory. God is an expert in acting at a time that no one expects. And now he is releasing a prophetic cycle upon your life. Something will begin to change in the next 7 days. It's not a metaphor, it's real movement. It may seem unlikely to human eyes, but the sky is already repositioning situations, accelerating processes, and creating paths where before there were only walls. These 7 days are not ordinary, they are days of releasing, cleaning, and alignment. Things that have been stuck for months will start to unravel. Closed doors will be revisited. What seemed lost will come back in the form of a purpose. But beware, this is not just an external miracle. The greatest transformation will be within you. Prepare to witness visible changes. But more than that, be sensitive to God's invisible touches. He will use dreams, encounters, signs, even silence. Everything will be direction. The impossible is not an obstacle for those who walk under a word. These 7 days will mark the beginning of something that will redefine your entire trajectory. True prosperity starts within. It is when the soul finds peace in the midst of the storm, when the heart rests even without having all the answers. God is leading you to that secret place where what matters is not what you have, but who you become. And in this new time, your soul will blossom with balance, wisdom, and renewed strength. You will be surprised by a lightness that does not come from outside, but from above. Anxiety will lose space. Worry will be replaced by trust. Because when the soul thrives, even the environment changes. God is cleansing the inside so that the outside reflects His glory. It's not just visible blessing, it's profound transformation. This prosperity is different from what the world preaches. It does not depend on numbers, status, or human victories. It comes from the certainty that heaven takes care of you. It comes from intimacy with God that feeds the spirit and strengthens the mind. And when the soul is healthy, everything else begins to line up. This is the path to true abundance. You've spent a lot of time trying to fit in. Molding themselves to please, silencing their gifts, diminishing themselves so as not to bother. But now, God is breaking these invisible chains. The time to unlock is coming. The real you, the one dreamed of by God before the foundation of the world, is about to emerge with authority. Old fears are being uprooted. Traumas that blocked His expression are being healed. The insecurity that made you hesitate is being replaced by conviction. God is reminding you of who you are. And when you reconnect with your divine identity, nothing else can stop you. Because whoever knows himself in God does not lose himself in the world. This unblocking is not only emotional, it is spiritual. Heaven is activating gifts, bringing out ancient wisdom, freeing your essence from everything that oppressed you. You will no longer be a copy, you will be the exact expression of what you were created to be. The time has come to be whole. The time has come to live without masks. You are not a mistake, nor a draft. You are a masterpiece sculpted by the hands of the Creator. Every pain you've faced, every scar you've carried, every silence you've endured, all of it has become part of the art God is now revealing. You were forged in fire, molded in pain, but also sealed with eternal purpose. God does not waste processes. What looked like disorder was drawing. What seemed like failure was foundation. And today, He calls you to look at yourself with the eyes of heaven. No more seeing yourself through the lens of rejection or comparison. You carry a unique code, a brilliance of your own. You are rare, necessary, and intentionally activated for this time. Now is the time to stand up not only with faith, but with conscience. The awareness that you are the answer, bridge, light and seed. You are a living sign that God is still at work. His life is not ordinary, it is prophetic. Walk as if you know that. Because the whole sky sustains you, and the whole world will still be impacted by what you carry. Now tell me. After everything you've heard, can you feel the sky calling you more strongly? Can you see that this message wasn't just information, it was an activation? God is pushing you into a new time, but He can't do it alone. It's up to you to decide if you're going to stay where you are, or if you will live everything that has been prepared for you. Maybe you're still trying to figure out how, when, and where to start. But what if the first step is simply to believe and say, God, I receive? This simple decision already changes everything. Because when the Spirit surrenders, heaven responds. So reflect, what do you need to leave behind? What needs to change right now? Chosen, the time has come to live with intentionality, with mature faith and firm soul. Do not postpone any longer what God has already released. That word wasn't just to move you, it was to reposition you. And if something burned inside you today, don't ignore it. God has spoken. Now it's up to you. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share it with someone who needs to hear it too. Because there are more words coming from heaven, and you can't miss any.